Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. So I just want to ask you a quick question. So what does it mean to be awake? I'm guessing the majority of you will say not sleeping. Well, you're correct. If you look up the dictionary definition of awake, that is exactly what it means. So now, if you're awake, you would assume you're consciously aware and alert of yourself and your surroundings. However, are you consciously aware that you're breathing right now? That you're blinking, filtering out the plethora of stimulation around you to see, listen, and understand what I'm saying? Probably not. That's because our brains, 90% of the time, are operating in autopilot mode, meaning we are awake, yet performing our activities of daily living without self-awareness. Just think about the last time you actively thought about how you're going to brush your teeth. Maybe when you were 2, but now it happens without even thinking. I don't know about you guys, but half the time I get home and don't even realize how I got here because I automatically get into my car and just drive and I'm here. So the point here is that 90% of the time we're really not even conscious and we're operating in autopilot mode. All right, you're all with me so far? So we, meaning neuroscientists, we're now able to study the electrical activity of the brain during different phases of consciousness, and research has revealed that the electrical activity of the brain, when overstimulated, shuts down. So the way we have been able to figure this out is by studying the electrical activity of the brain when we induce sleep. And what we found out is that the brain's activity initially gets excited, meaning overstimulated, then it shuts down. So let me try to explain this for you. What happens when someone experiences a seizure? What happens is that there's a surge of electrical activity in the brain, and this surge is what causes you to seize and then you shut down. But that's pretty medical. Let's try to bring it down a notch and understand what happens when people, for example, drink alcohol or take drugs. Inshallah, none of us have experienced this, but what happens is that there is a clear increase in brain activity, which in layman's term is a high. And in that high state, the brain systematically shuts down. I don't think I need to go into detail here. I'm sure all of you are aware of how one behaves when under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So you all get the concept now, hopefully, right? So now, let's try to apply this knowledge to our everyday lives. You guys ready? Compared to less than 100 years ago, our society has exploded with stimulation, whether it be visual, auditory, tactile, or so forth. So stay with me now. The punchline is, what do you think is happening to your brain with all this stimulation? Let me help you with your thought process here a little. What city in North America claims it never sleeps? Throw them out. The number one answer is actually Vegas. So guys, what is going on in Vegas? Why do they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? What do they mean by this? So if any of you have been to Vegas, you'll know how much effort and money is put into ensuring that your minds are overstimulated. And what did I say earlier? When your mind is stimulated, eventually it shuts down, meaning you're no longer awake, alert, or conscious. So the point I'm trying to make is this stimulation is not just solely in Vegas. It's all around you all the time. Like even the device you're using to listen to me right now, that's enough stimulation on its own. So what I urge all of you to do is to genuinely think about this. You ready? How do you think your brain is coping with the plethora of stimulation around you? Are you truly awake, conscious, and alive? Or are you actually walking around in an induced comatose-like state, or in other words, asleep or dead? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the disbeliever wakes up when the angel of death arrives. However, we have been given the beautiful blessing of Iman, alhamdulillah. So guys, let's wake up. Understand the intoxicating effects of this world, which for us is a test. And we need to persevere and not be taken away by this world. So the best way is Ramadan is now fast approaching, and this month is designed to help us remove ourselves from the stimulation of this world. So please join us in our humble effort to make ourselves wake up and yourself. Inshallah, I'll talk to all of you soon. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.